But if this is your first time joining, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Laura DeVeiga. I am the Director of Agency Development at the host agency World Via. I shouldn't say that, not even just a host agency, we're a travel group. We have a lot of different organizations under our travel group, but I am the Director of Agency Development here. And something that I've always been really passionate about is just making sure people, are always working to improve themselves as agency owners. I was a travel agent myself. I was an agency owner myself. I worked on the wholesale side of the business, a travel wholesaler for many years, worked in business development with that wholesaler as well. I've been in the business for quite a bit of time. So I've seen all sides of it and now seeing this side as well. And I just want to always be putting out information. And I love that I can do this for free and invite some of my old travel friends, some of my new ones, just to learn and keep fostering yourself into a better version of yourself and a better version of your business. So you'll notice also in this one, I'm going to talk about both yourself and your team. If you don't have a team, that doesn't mean this doesn't apply to you. I just want to show how you can use it for teams as well, because some of you may already have your own ICs or your own employees, or you may be thinking about it in the future. So it's still a really great habit to get into, to know how to handle it with a team and know what you're doing as far as that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and I just realized in like rewatch the last couple of times, because I will rewatch it, that you don't see my face when I'm presenting, which I'm trying to work on that, but I don't want to pretend like I know how to do that appropriately. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So we're going to share, and I'm getting better. Oh, that's how I do it, but that's not what I want. I want the slides up there. Hold on, let me see something here. Oh, that's different. This shows me as like a little bubble on the bottom. I don't know if I like that. Maybe I'll try like this week, this time, guys. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Because I'm very much a hand talker, and I hate that I can't, like, you guys can't see me as I'm talking. So let me know if this works for y'all. If it doesn't, just let me know. Where did my, there we go. I also like to see, perfect. So this way you can see me while I'm talking and going through and be a little more interactive. So topic this week is fostering growth mindset and empowering your team for success. And like I said, it's just not just your team, but it's also yourself. It's very easy to not be in a growth mindset. That's actually probably the more common place that people sit, is in what they call a fixed mindset. And it's not intentional, and it's not, and no one goes, oh, I prefer it that way in any sense. It just, it's very hard to get caught in the struggle of life and the struggle of a business. And especially if you're a new business owner, or you're just starting to really flourish, or you are flourishing and things are just a little out of control, it's very easy to get caught in the negative. It's very easy. I'll use the example of my husband because he's separate from this. He is very much a fixed mindset. I try to break it out of him constantly. Because they'll say things like, just the way it is, can't fix that. It's like, and I am so growth mindset. 100% growth mindset. And I will say I wasn't always this way. This really was an active choice I made for myself a few years ago, that I had to start like taking almost a step out of myself and go, what am I doing? And I noticed it when I was stuck in a rut. This was probably, I don't know, 8 years ago or so. I was a travel agent, just myself, a travel advisor. I'm sorry. I was an advisor myself, and I was just stirring. I was in a spot where I wasn't progressing. I wasn't getting busier. And I was just like, oh, this is just the clientele I'm getting. And oh, this is just who's calling me. And it was very easy just to be in that headspace, not towards growth, not looking for solutions to make it better, not looking for solutions to find more of the clients that I wanted to have and what I should be going for. And I noticed it was a festering mentality that was coming from around me. And then I went, oh, I can't be this way anymore. And it's really an active choice, and it's been a lot of reading and learning and getting to know what this really means and how it relates to my business and how it relates to myself too, because like I said, a growth mindset is an active choice, especially at first. You have to make that choice. It'll start to become more natural, and we'll kind of talk about that today, but it does take a minute at first. So let me just get right into one, understanding what growth mindset is, right? That's the most important piece. Also, I love this photo. But understanding exactly what it is rather than just hearing me talk at you about it. So what is growth mindset? And I want to put the definition in there. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. So it is training your brain to realize that if I get down and dirty and do the work, I will achieve what I want to achieve. And this all ties back to if you watched my goals session a few weeks ago, right? I'm a big believer when you set a goal and you put it on paper and you write it down, you're going to get there. But you have to believe you have the ability to do that. You have to believe that you can teach yourself to do something that you may not be as familiar with. So let's just use an out of pocket example. If I don't know anything about river cruises, I'm not going to be able to sell it if I don't learn it. If you want to be the top river, like AMA Waterways river cruise salesperson, you're not going to become that by never getting outside your box and learning more about it. Love that. Manager said it's just a dream until you write it down and then it becomes a goal. 10 out of 10. I'm a believer you have to write things down. I also can get into my crazy ways today because today is 8/8. Technically, it's an 8/8/8 day, which is a huge manifesting day. And I'm a believer you have to write it down. Write it down like you already have it. But it's really important to have the headspace that you can do the thing. And it's very easy for us, and I have some of these examples up in a second, to get to not be in that space. And why it's important to have the growth mindset is because it emphasizes the role of learning, resilience as well, and we'll talk about this a bit, and persistence in achieving success. What do I mean by that? Having a growth mindset doesn't mean you're going to be successful the first try, or the second try, or the 100th try. It means you're going to keep progressing forward because you know you can do it. I don't get to my goals and where I need to be going because I got it first try. I would learn nothing that way. I fail over and over and over again. And what I do when I fail is I don't go, oh, well, I should have known. I go, oh, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently? What can I change in my next week, my next conversation, my next sale, my next training that I'm giving to my employees so this doesn't happen again? Like preventative planning is a big part of growth mindset. It's knowing what that kind of, need to come out of it, but also having the resilience to know and have that, getting that tough skin that you're not going to get a first try or the fourth, third, or the fifth. Maybe occasionally you will. But there's nothing wrong with taking those hits because you learn something every single time. And learning something is what helps you grow and which puts you towards a growth mindset. Yeah. Also, growth mindset means taking feedback and learning from experience and coming up with strategies for improving. I talked about the learning from experience, right? But taking feedback's hard to take. Even me, who is pro feedback day in, day out, even sometimes when I hear it, I go, yep. And I'll give a prime example. I'll give a recent one. My boss is an incredible person and he's so detail oriented. And I will think I wrote something fabulous. And he'll be like, oh, you missed this, isn't this. And even though I know he has the best intentions, I'm like, ugh, I should have got it. But I don't learn anything that way. So I go, oh, you know what? You're right. Noted. I know for the future. I'm a big believer if I learn something once that's in my brain, I'll go forward. But if I didn't make the mistake to learn it, you'll never know. There's a quote, and I usually know it by heart, and I don't know if I'm going to get it right, but it says, I never mind being wrong because I am now smarter than I was before knowing the right answer, which I love. Like I know, actually, I know more now that I know the right answer. I love that. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay. You're going to be wrong a few times. You're going to mess something up. But having a growth mindset means being able to keep moving forward, keep taking those next steps. So the benefits of a growth mindset. What? It enhances individual and team performance. Once you start to get in the habit of, I know I can do this, I'm going to get to this, it's amazing how your brain switches into a more positive output. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I know. For example, if I have a sales goal I need to hit, I'm like, I know I'm going to hit it. So I'm now planning my day on how I'm going to hit that goal daily as I've broken it down because I'm in the positive headspace of going, I know I'm going to hit that goal. I know I'm going to grow this week. And then the following week, I know I'm going to surpass that goal. How am I going to do that? What do I have to change? So it just changes your brain space. And then when one person does it and the team sees it, it truly is contagious. And that's on both ends. If you are operating in a fixed mindset, and we'll talk about what that is in a moment, but I want to put the positive first, it is contagious. So when you start to act like this, it's going to take a minute, especially if someone's really headset in a fixed mindset, but you'll notice your team members start to pick up on it too. They're like, well, that's working for her. What's working for her? Let me ask. So it also fosters innovation and creativity. When your team or even yourself knows that they have the ability to fail and they aren't going to be scolded or they're not going to get in trouble, they're so much more willing to be creative and be open to opinions and give out crazy ideas that are going to help grow your business and make it bigger and more beautiful if you create a space where they can do so. If they think when they give something, I go, no, that's crazy. No, we could never do that. No, that's your response to them. You're never going to get anything good from them. And it's going to take a minute to fester that creativity, to fester that positivity from other people. And this might even, if you don't have a team, this could be just among your travel friends. Because sometimes you're just searching creative ideas among your travel peers, right? Make a comfortable space for people to feel stupid. And stupid's probably an aggressive way to put it, but it's a reality. I feel stupid every day. I say something stupid but I grow so much from it. If people feel comfortable with you, they're going to be so much more willing to be innovative and think outside the box and do things that are different because they're not afraid of what the reaction might be. So much of the human composure is to react to somebody else's reaction. And you cannot be stressed that someone might say something that like be rude about how your new thought is going to be. You'll never get out of that box. Now, it encourages continuous learning and improvement. I kind of already talked about this, but how do you get better? How do you grow? You have to keep learning. You guys know I talk about books constantly. I talk about podcasts constantly. It is an active part of my day that at least 10 minutes a day, usually more than 10 minutes, but I dedicate at least 10 minutes a day to professional development because I always want to be bigger, better, best. And when you're in that growth mindset, you're always going to be wanting to be consuming more and doing more and bringing in more in. When you have a fixed mindset, you already shut it out and you're not getting anywhere. When you start to grow more, you open your mind. We always say to everyone, right? We're in travel. The more you travel, the more it opens your mind. Well, the more you read and the more you research and the more you learn, the bigger your business can be. The bigger you can be for your team as well, so they can be bigger and better. And again, it builds resilience in the face of challenges and setbacks. How much more resilient is your team going to be when we have our next natural disaster or something occurs, when they're comfortable taking hits on the daily and not worried about the repercussions? Because that's what it is, right? People are afraid of failing because of what the reaction will be. They're afraid of failing because of disappointing someone. If you create a space where it doesn't feel like disappointment, it feels like a learning opportunity, and you kind of break that down with them each time, it will open worlds for them. Something I do with my team, and I will not, you do you, but it's something that always worked for me when I was a member of a team, and now I've carried on to my team. We collectively go through our phone calls together. It's not to criticize, it's not to pull anyone apart. It's just to go, oh, you just said this. Is there a better way that this could have been said that would have been helpful? And then usually in that conversation, we go, oh, yes. So something I can recommend for you, even on that same idea, building your own resilience, listen to your own phone calls. If you have the opportunity to record them, listen to yourself. Sometimes you can learn so much just from listening to yourself and go, oh, and that's what I mean by a little bit of this resilience is like, you gotta like hear yourself and be like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or oh, I shouldn't have done that. But it's a learning experience because hearing it, you're never going to say it again. You're, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. And it's not in a criticized way. It's a finding the next experience to make the conversation better. What could have I said differently? What could I do differently? It's things like that. So being very self-aware is the way to kind of be so present in a growth mindset. So now I wanted to compare them and put them right next to each other. So a fixed mindset, like I said, is where most people sit. Intelligence is static. I know what I know. That's it. I know what I know. I learned it in school. Here I am. I learned it 20 years ago in travel school. I learned the things. I know the things. I know the proper places. I know this. They don't want to break out of their shell. They're going to avoid challenges. They're not going to do anything too hard, too complicated. They keep their basic trips. They just book that. And this is speaking to either your employees or even about yourself, or it could be someone you know that you can help with this. It's too hard. I don't want to book an FIT to Europe. It's too hard. I don't want to learn it. I don't want to know. How many times have you heard that? Heard it count. I work with agents every single day. I hear it countless. It's too hard to learn that. You expect a reward with that effort. Why is she winning awards? Did you work as hard as her? Did you put in all the effort and time as her? Something to think about, right? Ignoring your feedback. We know we all get feedback. Things come back, whether it's on social media or over email or whatever it may be. Do you read it? Do you really break it down? Or are you listening to yourself to see what you could be saying differently? And threatened by the success of others. I just kind of talked about this. Why is she getting awards? Why is she doing so well over there? Why does it seem like they're always busy? One, grass is not always greener. Remember that. But it's also important to remember you cannot compare yourself. You cannot. I grew up in this industry when travel agencies, and they are now, but we were really flourishing. And it was very hard for me. The industry was flourishing. It was very hard for me not to compare myself to friends of mine that I had in the Philadelphia area. Now, I live in a small town in Pennsylvania. The difference is one, economical differences, 100%. But so many other, they're going on different trips there. They're doing different things. So yeah, I had to book more to get to the level they were at. But comparing did me nothing. It didn't help me in the slightest. It just made me more frustrated and dug me in a hole. I'd be like, well, I'll never get to where she's at because I don't have that kind of business. Then when I changed my mindset, I found different kinds of business that got me there. So then just to talk through growth mindset, intelligence can be developed, embrace challenges. I can train my brain. So well, let me break this. Intelligence can be developed. You can learn every single day, even if it's in small little bite-sized doses. Some podcasts are 10 podcasts is this. Oh my goodness. Podcasts are 10 to 15 minutes. If you aren't consuming that kind of data, what are you doing? There's so much that can be consumed and learned. And there's so many great podcasts about mindset. I'll post those in the group. I can train my brain. You absolutely can. You can train your brain into good habits. You can train your brain into doing things differently. You can train your brain into approaching sales differently. You can train your brain into speaking to your employees, your ICs differently. Embrace challenges. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, one, to make this change, and two, to consistently keep choosing a growth mindset in the future. And effort is the path to mastery. It takes effort. Like I said, I just saw someone make this conversation about Simone Biles in the Olympic Games. And they said, there's probably some girl that is in a gymnastics studio somewhere. And I was like, well, I'll never be Simone Biles. It's like, you're right. But did you work like Simone Biles did? Did you work every day, in and out, years and years, and even get up there and have to take a step back the way she's had to do to get to where she is today? Comparing yourself as a monster to other people, but make sure you're putting in the work. Make sure you're putting in a real effort for yourself and for your business and for your ICs or employees. Learn from feedback. We already kind of talked about this. And inspired by the success of others. Nothing it gets me more excited than someone in my industry. And specifically, like what I kind of do has changed. I'm not booking the trip, but still nothing gets me more excited when I hear an agent booked a huge trip. We had to book a world cruise. I'm like, yes, that is where we should be. This is the level to get yourself. I know agents that are chartering AMA river cruises right now. Get on that level. Like, I'm so excited for the people that are doing well, the people that are like challenging themselves and putting themselves out there. And it takes a minute. Nobody gets through this in a day, but you have to be inspired by others. Because when I see that, I'm like, oh, I can get better. I can do better, right? And then I'm very friendly with industry professionals in a similar position to mine. Because I've said this, I think in 3 out of 4 of the classes that I've done, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. Your personality and who you are and what you do are the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. So I want to surround myself with people that my industry and are doing it better than me so I can learn. I don't want them to be better than me so I can be jealous. I want to be better so I can hear how they're conversing with their employees, so I can hear what they're doing with their advisors, so I can hear how they're teaching. I learned so much from my surroundings, and you should be doing the same. Okay. Now, strategies for cultivating a growth mindset. I had very fancy titles to my slides this week, guys. So first and foremost, I've said this twice already, lead by example. If you have ICs or employees, you are not going to get them to get on board if you're not doing it yourself. So we already kind of talked about why it's important for you and things to do, but make sure if you have other people working with you, lead by example. But if you are individual, this is still relevant because you almost have to lead yourself by example. You have to show, and this might be listening to other growth mindset, like listening to some mindset podcasts, hearing what others do and following their example to project your own example. Because sometimes when you're by yourself, it's a little more difficult to see that lead by example. But if you need, I can be your lead by example. I'm happy to post what I do in the daily and let you know, but it's really important to set a good example for yourself. So whether that's surrounding yourself with outside sources that are doing it, or you're providing that example for your employees or your ICs. Encourage learning and development. Again, whether it's to your ICs or your team or really just for yourself. Like I said, always there is so much incredible education out there right now, and people are just killing it. There are teams out there that are building education for all levels of the industry and building courses that I never would have thought of a million years ago. So you have to think of what makes sense for you and keep learning and keep developing, and then also develop outside of the business. A lot of professional development courses and books and things are not travel focused. You have to listen to these and get into them and focus it towards your business. And that's how you can do that. Provide constructive feedback. Again, you know what I just thought of too, and I didn't even think this again could work with your circle of peers. So if you're an individual agency owner and you do not have employees or ICs yet, grab 2, 3, 5 of your friends that are in travel. Do this virtually. Have a minute where you guys show examples of how you're doing this. Do learning and development together. Go to conferences together. Provide feedback to each other. This is a great space for that. But then, of course, if you have your employees, make sure you're doing regular check-ins with your employees or ICs to give them constructive feedback. Now, I know with ICs, it's a little bit more difficult because you cannot, there's regulations on how all that can work, but there is nothing wrong with if saying, hey, I'd love to schedule some time with you where we can have some good constructive feedback. Would you be interested? And if they are, take that time, schedule it monthly, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, and you go through and you talk about some constructive feedback, what they could be changing, talk about their most recent sale, what they think went well. I think I talked about this last week and I said, what went well, what didn't, what can we do better? That's 3 questions on one call, and that could be 15 minutes that you dedicate to them a month to help them out. Now, I know some of you have tons of ICs, so this is a bit more of a time crunch. So schedule a webinar where you do this, where everybody jumps on, kind of, leave an opportunity for growth for those ICs, create those spaces. And then, of course, celebrate efforts and persistence. And when I say this, I don't mean when they hit their big, hairy, audacious goal, like I talked about a few weeks ago. This isn't their big, crazy goal. This is they finally got that Dubai trip. You sing it from the rooftops. You're so excited for them. This is, they just finally added an excursion to a trip and they haven't been able to. Sing it from the rooftops. And this is also for yourself. Celebrate your wins. We just had this within my own team. We have goals that we have to hit within our own team. We aren't there yet, but we just surpassed and had the highest that we've ever done. If you didn't know I was singing it from the rooftops to them, I'm like, yes, we did it. We're so close. Like, that's the environment people want to be. And they're going to laugh at you. You're going to laugh at yourself, even if you're celebrating yourself, but you need to have those moments. You need to celebrate. You need to show that the effort for them is worth it. So they're willing to take the effort. And you need to show that the persistence is worth it. So they're willing to learn resilience and persevere. It's so important. And again, I just put this in like what a growth mindset does for your team. So when you set goals and you start talking about overcoming challenges with them, you set these spaces where they can speak about feedback and go throughs, they're going to start finding solutions better because they're more informed, they're taking time to learn, they're learning from you. They're going to be able to find solutions quicker and faster, or at least feel comfortable having a space to find those answers. And then they're going to start hitting their goals. And the second they hit their first goal, they're hooked. You're going to be the same way. The second you hit that first goal that we built 4 weeks ago, or like your little baby goal to get to your big goal, you're going to be hooked. It's such an incredible feeling. And then that's your motivation to keep going. And you just have to keep that momentum with them. Again, positive affirmation, doing the feedback with them, make sure that you're celebrating the wins, be supportive for them. And you're going to see productivity that goes through the roof when you have an environment that is comfortable and productive and growth focused. And even within yourself, again, if you get a team of friends, and you just start living in this mindset, you're all going to be more productive because you're going to be cheering each other on. You're going to be providing the motivation for each other. You're going to be celebrating wins together. It's such a really, truly incredible thing to see once it starts to take motion. So, tips to help implement growth mindset in your business. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Yes, I'm drinking coffee at 7 o'clock at night, but it's iced coffee, so I pretend it doesn't have caffeine. So, practical tips for implementation for your business. Set clear goals. If you need help setting goals, go back this is the 4th week, 3 weeks. Watch my goals session where we talk about how to set your goals, why goals are important, how goals are going to help you improve your business. Set clear goals, smart goals. Make sure they are attainable, make sure they have a time frame on them so they're easy to get to. Make sure you're setting smart goals. Because if you put a vague goal into the universe, you're going to get a vague response. You need specifics to your goals. So, and do this for your team as well. Make sure there's tangible, there's something that they can grasp onto. They know it's an attainable goal. So they're not like outlandishly putting something that they're never going to achieve. Have them start small and work their way up. Making it clear makes it so much easier. And making sure the individual and team goals are aligned with the company. So whatever your company, whatever your business plan is, make sure if their business, if you have individual goals within your team, make sure they align with the business goals. They might not go directly correlated to it, but make sure they make sense. So when you're setting your business goals, make sure that they're sitting down and making sure there's at least one goal they're setting that is tied to the business. Promote collaboration. If this is your team, make sure you're promoting collaboration with your team. Make sure they're willing to help each other. Make sure they're willing to kind of brainstorm together because this takes a minute sometimes to get to these goals, but also within your peer group. If you're doing this on your own, make sure you're promoting collaboration with them. They say, hey, let's schedule 30 minutes where we just, BS around, we go get this all out there, we figure out what we need to do, and then because I need to work with you, I need your good ideas, and I can maybe help you with some of my good ideas, and we're going to get to a really great place. Collaboration, one, just makes everything more comfortable. It makes you feel comfortable in kind of speaking what you're unsure about and what you don't know will work, and it just promotes a really all-around lovely environment. Monitor progress. Like I said before, I'm celebrating every win, but also it's just important to have like milestones within your business. And whether that's a milestone list, like you have a ton of things you want to hit for your business or for your team, put them all in order and just know I want to hit this. And it could be small. It's a first sale. And I'm going to start all the way to, your first sale through a huge business, but it could be your first sale. It's your first 10 sales. It's your first $100,000. It's your first year where you booked a trip every single week. It's your first year where you have a commission paycheck every week. Because sometimes that's hard at first, or even when you're in the middle of it, is timing it out, making sure you're having people traveling in a per week basis, that you're getting that weekly paycheck in a sense. Is it I'm chartering an AMA Waterways cruise, like whatever it is, make sure you have those steps in the right direction to get you there, but make sure you're monitoring the progress. See, I hit that goal. I got here, I got there, and do that for your coworkers or your friends and your travel peers as well. Help them monitor. Hey, where are you at towards your goal? Where are you at in your steps towards your goal, right? And then again, use positive language. Nothing kills a growth mindset like negative language. Well, it's never People are never gonna happen. Never, never. I'll never get there. I don't do that. I don't. All those negative words, we know them. We learn them in school. I don't have to tell them to you. Never, don't, can't, won't. It kills it. So make sure you're putting out positive energy, positive conversation. And for example, you're with your travel peers. You're like, how's everything going for you guys? Is it as rough as it is for me? They're gonna go, well, it's rough for you. Let me tell you how bad my day was. Oh, you think your day was bad? Let me tell you. You've already set that energy. It's gone. Now, let me tell you about this fabulous group I had. Let me tell you what good happened this week. Let's talk about the wins I had this week. What are you guys doing differently that's working? All the positive spins on things. Or adding yet. I think that's on my next slide. I think this is it's coming up. Adding yet sometimes to like the negative thoughts is a really cool way to kind of switch that headspace. But let's get into overcoming challenge. Oh, this is it. Yeah. So overcoming challenges starts with addressing fixed mindset triggers. Well, failure is a limit of my abilities. Sure, I guess. I'm either good at it or I'm not. There's no gray there. There's no learning. I guess you're right. I'm either good or I'm not. That's a horrible way to think of things. My abilities are unchanging. Well, if you're not going to change, you're not going to get any better, so you might as well give up. I don't like to be challenged. That's what I hear a lot. I don't like to be challenged. It's too hard. I hear that. My potential is predetermined. I stick to what I know. I hear this one all the time. But what if it was changed too? My abilities are unchanging yet. Or I don't like to be challenged yet. I'm working on that. I can't figure out for the life of me how to sell Australia, New Zealand yet. I don't know if I could ever book an African safari yet. Adding the yet is like that glimmer of hope, right? It's like, oh, well, yet I think I could do it. I think I could do it. Now, I wouldn't use any of that negative conversation, but oh, Amanda, I like to say I'm not sure if I'm ready to tackle that just yet. Fair. And that's a way to handle it. You're saying just yet. You're not saying you can't do it. You're not saying you won't do it. You're saying I need a little more time to get there. And then you just have to learn and move forward and kind of take those steps to learning what to do and how to do it. It's just really, again, it's active changes in your daily conversation. And like I said, I write down every day my top 5 things I have to do in that day. So there's no question of like what I'm going to do or I can't do or I can't get to that. I know what I have to get to in my day. These are my 5. I got to get to that. Anything else? I'll try, but I'm not going to say I won't get it or I'm not going to get it. I'm going to try. It's really a difference of conversation. Yeah. Also in overcoming challenges, make sure you can manage resistance, be prepared for resistance, and have strategies to help team members transition to a growth mindset. Just because you're on board with me tonight or you've gotten one friend on board, that does not mean everybody's on board. I don't know if you've seen all over the internet, like there's like the black cat golden retriever energy. I have a black cat best friend. I am golden retriever energy. I'm like, let's go. We're going to do this. We got to do this thing. And she's like, and then it always works out because you have to have like the space, but she's willing to go with the flow with me. She's like, all right, let's go. You have to be prepared that people are going to like, I don't think that's going to work. And you have to go, well, I do. I do it with my husband all the time. He's like, we're never going to be able to do that. We will. It's just going to take some time. We're never going to buy that. We will. We're going to. It's just going to take some time. Also, right at my home I'm in right now. My husband's like, we can't do that. I said, we are. We need to. We're moving forward. And I'm like, you have to be in a bigger space to do bigger things. And we got a bigger space and we did bigger things. It's amazing what a little bit of mindset can do for people that are going to be resistant, and you're going to have resistance. You have to keep being optimistic. You have to keep choosing the positive. Once you make this choice for yourself to start moving towards a growth mindset and start to being better and achieving goals, you have to just keep choosing the positive. I always say it isn't every day I wake up and choose to be positive. I want every part. Today, it was gray. It was rainy. I have a nice, like, fake down comfort. I just wanted to stay in bed. But I went, I don't know if I've ever told you guys. I've talked about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the Mel Robbins thing, but I'm sure it'll come up later. But I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I gotta get out of bed, and I got up. So I'm tangenting now for a second. But Mel Robbins has an idea that is she calls the 5 second rule, and what that is, it's like scientifically based. It's 5, 4. If you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like you're taking off on a rocket ship, so you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Your body will be inclined to move. And if you have, or something you're not sure you want to do, or you don't think you want to do, or you're kind of stuck in a fixed mindset, you're like, I just need to start learning about New Zealand. And some days I just have to go, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I have to click on the link and just start. Or I have to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm calling that difficult client because I know I want to hit my goal this week. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I do it every single day, multiple times a day, because we all have things, even though I choose positive, I try to choose the positive every day. I have to go, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Like I gotta get up and get moving. And it's a really cool idea. She's a whole book about it. I highly recommend it. I'll post about that too. But anyways, this kind of pulls into recalibrate goals. So be willing to change goals. If you are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's just not working out. If you have friends that are resistant or your team is resistant and I'm not on board for this big goal. Be willing to scale it down a bit so it's easier for them to understand and be willing to take part in it. And then engage in open conversations about challenges. Again, kind of like what we talked about earlier, people once they know they can mess up and say, oh, I didn't know, are going to be they're going to be so much more crucial to the progression of your business because you're allowing them to talk about their challenges, to talk about their failures, to talk about what they're not sure about. If they don't feel comfortable doing that, you're going to be stuck in a box. And then always providing additional support. When people are trying to work through things, you need to you need to be that cheerleader. You need to be helpful to them. Even if you're not in a space where you want to cheerlead yourself, cheerleading others, they're going to cheerlead you back. They're going to be that win-win with you. And that's the way to get through things. And I just really liked this. It says, don't worry about failure. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. How many things can you probably think of that you missed out on because you just didn't try? I can endlessly think of the things that I was like, oh, I should have just done it. I should have just went. I should have just called them. I should have just offered that bigger hotel. I should have just this. I should have just that. I could should have all day. I don't, but I could. You can't worry about what didn't work out. Like I said, you have to find the positive, find what you can learn from it, and keep moving forward. Keep moving. It's a Walt Disney quote, right? Keep moving forward. You have to, because none of the most successful people in the world got where they are because they messed up one time and went, well, this is it. Steve Jobs didn't create that first terrible phone and go, well, if it's not going to work, I'm not going to keep going. So many really incredible, intelligent people. Oh, I love that. Just keep swimming. That's a good one too. You have to be willing to mess up, fail, try again, mess up, fail, try again, have a little win, mess up, fail, try again. Like I said, just keep swimming. You have to, because there's too much that can come up. There's too many factors, especially in the travel world. We don't know what can happen. You don't know what can come up again and derail the whole travel world. And we might be doing something differently next year. But being resilient is what got you here through the pandemic. Being resilient is what's kept your business successful for as long as it has been. And being resilient is what's going to keep your business successful in the future. So you have to be willing to mess up, keep trying, and keep moving forward. And that's it, guys. This was another, well, I shouldn't say short and sweet. It was still about 40 some minutes, but another shorter one. I just really wanted to talk about it. I think it transitioned really well from habits to goals to navigating change now into having a growth mindset when you start to make changes. So I think that when you apply a growth mindset for yourself and or for your business, there's so much that you can be doing and so much you can be learning yourself for growth. And if this isn't just on learning new destinations, this is also learning, business tactics. This is going to a business conference and learning how to better your accounting, how to better plan your financial strategies for future years, which heads up, we're going to talk about that in a later class. But how to like balance out your time that you're spending on your business and in your business, learning about those things, learning about how to manage your business. So often in the travel industry, we get caught in and it's unintentional. You flourish fast, travel. We're not selling insurance, right? We're selling fabulous trips. You start selling like crazy, you get too busy for your own good, and then you forgot to learn how to account for yourself, learn when you booked this one trip, when that commission's coming in, learn the proper way to be doing, or how you can be using other tools and like profit drivers to build your business. You've gone too far past that because you got too busy too quick. So taking those moments to go back for your business and learn about these things, and we'll talk about some of these topics going forward that'll help you build your business, is so crucial to the building of your business. So just make sure you're always being willing to grow and learn and expand yourself and your business as a whole. But I'm going to let, if anyone has any questions, please pop them in the chat. If not, my email is up there. I will pop the Facebook group in here as well. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. I hope if you didn't get the email, I'll pop it into the chat. But I really appreciate you all coming out on a Thursday night. I like this time. I hope you like this time. If not, tell me in the Facebook group, and we can make changes, or maybe we can switch it up here and there. We'll see. I really like spending this time with you all, and I hope you like listening to me, because I know that can be like it can be a lot to just listen to somebody straight for a little bit of time. Can I find the link? There we go. All right, so I'm popping the Facebook link in there. Add yourself to the group to get last couple episodes. This episode will pop up in there. You can ask questions in there. Invite your other friends and travel there. This is for anybody in the industry. It's open to everyone. It's really just about growing your travel business. We're starting to get a bigger group in there, so it's going to get fun soon. Not that it's not fun now, but you know what I mean. And then I'm going to pop my email address in here as well if you ever have any questions. And if not, it seems like we're pretty quiet here. One, Amanda, thank you for your participation tonight. It is so much appreciated. And thank you for anyone else that attended tonight. I really hope you have a fabulous evening. I hope that you start to make some changes to have a growth mindset for yourself. And if you need any help with the kind of adjusting or want to talk more deeper on growth mindset, reach out to me. And we can have a one-on-one conversation. We can really dig into this a little further because there's so much you could really get into. This is such a brief amount of time to kind of get through what growth mindset is and what it can do for your business. And I'd love to have those conversations with you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Jennifer. I hope they're helping. I hope they keep helping. If there's a topic and I talk about it, you're like, guys, that wasn't it. You're like, Laura, this wasn't it. Let me know. Again, I love taking feedback and moving forward. But I think these 4 went really well. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pop 3 options in for next week in the Facebook group tomorrow and see what comes up, and we'll go from there, see what you guys want to kind of talk about next. But I do appreciate your time, and everyone enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend, and happy booking, happy travels if you're traveling, and happy just getting through it. So I really appreciate you all, and we'll talk soon.